We get thousands upon thousands of emails and letters every year from people saying, weeds! Weeds are ruining my life, whether it's Lantana and wandering Jew ruining their lives, soursop, dreadful thing that. Doesn't matter. Look, just weeds. All we've got in our garden is weeds. So what we've endeavoured to do from all of your letters, we've compiled that list of Australia's most wanted. But let's cut to the chase and get to Australia's enemy, number one. And that's the Bindi. Now, you could try to dig it out, but probably won't get too far. You can spray it. Bindi is, in my view, the best spray. Do not use a spray that contains dicamba, because that can do damage to nearby trees and shrubs. But do remember, Bindi grows in lawns that are crook, and this year there's a lot of lawns that are crook because of the drought in various areas. So, you need to maybe uncompact the soil, aerate it a bit, pour some water into it, get the grass growing well. If the grass is growing well, you will have no Bindi, and you don't need to spray. By the way, if you're in New Zealand, it's only hunger, but that is the worst of all of them. Bindi, only hunger, a dreadful thing, and you would use Bindi to kill it with as a spray. Worth doing. I don't like sprays, but for that one, you've got to nail it. The next dreadful Australian weed has to be wandering Jew. After all, this is the one that gives dogs such a miserable time. They get awful allergies around their elbows and under their tummies and all the rest of it. Horrible thing, looks awful, sort of a succulent, full of water, very hard to get rid of. Now with this particular weed, you could just, for instance, very carefully rake up all the bits, pull them out by hand and put it in a plastic bag and then maybe put it in the garbage or something. But if you leave the tiniest little bit, it will regrow. Equally, you can cover your ground with, say, black plastic, but it would need to be on for some months, maybe 3 or 4 months minimum, and that could do some damage to the soil, but that may get rid of a lot of it. Normal sprays like Roundup or Zero aren't tremendously effective against it. Worth a try, but not brilliant. If you've got a real problem, there's a much more toxic spray, but still it's a reasonably good spray called Starane, S-T-A-R-A-N-E. You could use that. I personally wouldn't. I'd stick to Roundup or Zero, or just simply rake it up and put it in a plastic bag. Hard weed to get rid of is Wandering Jew, number 2. Next one, Queen of Spades, is that dreadful asthma weed. Yes, it does cause asthma. I would get rid of it. Spray it with Roundup or Zero. Next, Jack of Spades is an appalling weed. That is Oxalis. There's the yellow form in South Australia, which is soursop, and there's the pinky one in most of the East Coast Australia. Dreadful thing. Again, Roundup or Zero, have it mixed up in some sort of container, have it near the back door, so you can go out and repeatedly spray it. You won't get it with one spraying, but repeated spraying over a couple of years, you'll get it. 10 of Spades, bamboo, chop it down, fertilise it, then hit it with Roundup or Zero. Then this one, onion weed. If it's in the lawn, I'd basically learn to live with it. Or you can poison off your entire lawn and the onion weed and start again. But basically in the lawn, live with it. For the rest, treat it like Oxalis, just repeated spraying with Roundup or Zero. This is Fishbone Fern. It's a dreadful weed, same as the one before. Treat it with Roundup or Zero, but you'll spray it and you think, oh, it's dead, it's gone, then it comes back. You'll need to spray it probably 3 or 4 times over maybe a year, 18 months. Then this one, dreadful environmental weed, Lantana. Easy to get rid of though, just put some gloves on because it's sort of prickly in the stems and just pull it out. Not that hard to do, and you'll beat it. Keep pulling it out. The 6 of Spades, they're those dreadful flat weeds in the lawn. Sometimes cudweed, sometimes cat's ear, but it doesn't matter. Spray for Bindi with Bindi, and they'll die. Now the last of Australia's most wanted, 5 of Spades, is this one. This is asparagus weed. It's a nasty thing in a way. It's got little spines along the stems. Use gloves when you're pulling it out, but basically hand removal is fine. Just use a garden fork or something, just loosen the soil, pull it out. Those little bulb-like things attached to the roots are water storage organs, and they will not grow new plants. Just make sure you get down to get the crown of the plant, the whole plant, with the fiberglass type of a roof on it, and it's really charming. Well, there you go, Australia's most wanted. Do your bit for Australia and get rid of them. They're dreadful things. Little word of warning, don't use Roundup or Zero, anything containing glyphosate, near members of the rose family. They hate it. If you've got rose bushes growing somewhere and say you've got soursop growing all around them, remove your roses, spray the whole area out. Might take a year or so. When it's fine again, no more weeds left, replant. But good luck The war against weeds is an ongoing weed, and Australia needs all of you people to do your bit.